What's up, everyone? Welcome to the 474th? Third episode? Fourth episode.
I don't even bother.
473. It is on my list, and you never ask. You know I keep a list. You know that I have it written down, and you don't even ask. You, the person that makes the show, should have a list.
I do have a list. It's called
it's at the top of his outline that he never shows us.
Correct.
Oh, my gosh. Hi, my name's Steve. Welcome to this Pokemon podcast. We talk about Pokemon here. This is our new intro. I sound very welcome to the Pokemon. Greg is here.
Hi. Let me know when I can do my PSA, because it's very important.
Okay. Will also here, no PSA.
I have nothing important to say. Okay. You might as well just send me home. Wait.
You are home.
To bed. Send me to bed.
Go to bed. Go to bed, Will. Go to bed, Will. Go to bed, Steve. Both of you look tired.
Yeah,
I had a long weekend of fun and Pokemon.
I was out there in the mud this morning.
The mud.
You can't see it, but there's mud all over my It's Super Effective shirt that I'm wearing right now. I was in the mud this morning.
He was mountain biking.
Oh, biking. Not like gardening.
No.
Oh, heck no.
Heck no. Gardening.
What is this PSA before we start?
All right, this is a PSA to all the YouTube creators who are excited that Pokemon UNITE is presenting you with new, exciting content. Okay, point one, Lillipup is not a fox. It is a dog,
Oh, no.
as stated by the name Lillipup. Two, it's Bouffalant, not Bufflant. Three, it's Ludicolo, not Ludicolo. I wish I was making that up. And four, it's Cinderace, not Cinderace.
Who have you been watching? Who have you been watching that's putting out this garbage content?
The amount. So I went in and was like, okay, I want to see what other people are doing and see how they're playing the game. And one person the entire time kept saying Ludicolo, and I was so distracted by this pronunciation that I could not continue with the video. And I had to go back and I was like, okay, you can't, that had to have been a joke. But it kept happening, and there was no haha. It was just, so then you'll attack Ludicolo.
You don't need to watch any of these YouTube videos, Greg. I'm putting out very helpful guides that save people 10 minutes of their time.
Look, I am not PSAing to you. I am PSAing to the people who are trying to make content for Pokemon, folks. Pronunciations are indeed difficult, but you can find them. It is never Ludicolo.
The Lillipup as a fox really throws me off.
I did too, because it's like, okay, the guy's like, okay, so you want to kill this fox thing first. And I'm like, what fox thing? And then they're chasing Lillipup, and I'm like, but it says pup in the name. I mean, I guess
It
fox
also looks
pups.
nothing like a
It
fox.
doesn't look like a fox. Look, it's been a wild weekend of content. I'm Veteran 3. I had an incredible night on Unite last night. I'm flying high, but I'm doing everybody else a favor. Learn how to say Pokemon names, please.
Do you go APOM or IPOM?
Apom.
APOM.
Who's saying IPOM?
Well, who's saying Ludicolo? But here we are.
Oh, I hate this timeline.
I mean,
okay,
there's
where do
an
we
I
begin?
in there. You could say IPOM.
It could be AI. It could be AI-pom.
No.
Look,
Because there's a P and then the O is right there, so technically could make the I long. So AI-pom.
all right. Before we start talking about Unite or Pokemon Go, let's talk about Pokemon Snap. That'll be our first bit of news here. This is off Nintendo Life, sent in by Alex from our Slack community. This week's new Pokemon Snap update also includes quality of life improvements. Here are the improvements. Now, when you go to retry a level after completion, you will get to select the research level again, so you don't have to exit in order to select the same stage at a different research level. You now have the ability to go directly to camp without having any photos assessed. If you achieve a Len Talk mission on one of your photos, it will get flagged as meeting the requirements before you get it assessed. You can now directly save your images to the Nintendo Switch. You can now save images on your Nintendo Switch directly from the photo editing option.
Oh, the Len Talk mission is the thing that I think.
Yeah,
is
that's
most
like the big
important.
one.
That's like the big one. That's a big one. That's a goodie. Too bad I've not played that game.
Did you not play the update?
No. I watched you. I told you I was going to watch you play it so I could see if the one Pokemon that I want is in the game. It wasn't, and therefore it was a trash update, and I refused to do it. Besides, Unite came out, and I'm a pro circuit player, so I have to put in my Unite hours.
All the pros were master like 2 weeks ago.
Nah.
They're out there doing whatever they're doing.
Those are the fake pros that are going to leave the game in a week.
Yep.
Not the hardcore
Not the
long-term
hardcore.
pros.
The ones that worked for it.
Oh
I
my
didn't
gosh.
pay to win, Steve. I didn't pay to win. I'm doing it the old-fashioned way. I'm earning it.
I put about 3 to 4 hours into the Snap update. I ended up finding like 12 or 13 of the 20 Pokemon they added. There's 3 levels. Each level has a day and night. I did all of them, all 6, I guess. They are new levels, except the first one, which is like you have to go into the park, find the tree, scan the tree. It then opens the level. It reminds me of the electrode situation in the first Pokemon Snap, where you have to like hit the electrode to open the path. And then when you're so in order to open that level, you have to like go into a level and do it. The other 2 levels are just click on these levels and start. And then when you're done with that level, the first level, that you go into the park, find the tree, do the level, then it poops you back out into park. And you're in the Florges field.
Yeah, I know that is accurate. And then I would say that that's what happened.
And then when you open that, so when you do that level the first time, then you can select it separately, unlike the other 2 levels where you can just do it. But when you do the level separately, and this is the level that shrinks you down. This is the only zone that shrinks you down. There's a Snorlax, and you ride an Emolga and stuff. When it ends, it then poops you back out into the park again, and you're in the Bouffalant field.
Can we use a different term? When you exit the track?
When you exit forcibly from the digestive system.
That one's a little weird. I'm not sure why that is. It's like whatever. It's just weird that one of the 3 you have to go into a level to unlock, but it also uses the old level, where the other 2, because I can't think of another. There's not, out of what, the 14, 15 maps, nothing really does that.
We live in a world of chaos. It's just an artifact of the way that this universe was built.
It was a design choice, and they made the choice, and we live with the choice.
Yeah, I did like the finding the tree. It took me like 2 passes in the park to figure out which tree it was.
I mean, does it not question mark?
It does, but if you're like, if you're in your lens and you're snapping pictures of Ducklet, you miss it. Sometimes you gotta get some good pictures of Ducklet. I don't know. He's there. He's cute.
mean, I
saw
you
4-star or 4 gold platinum pictures
Diamond.
of Ducklet.
I mean, I do, but Ducklet is Ducklet.
I mean, I did see the part where they doubled down on Beat Booty.
They did, yeah.
Hardcore double down.
So all 3 of these levels are, how do I describe this? To me, they're incredibly short. They're not very long. And they seem to be set up to be harder. Like
higher difficulty level?
Yeah, I went through the mountain one that has like Crustle and Rockruff and Tepig. And there's one of like the first puzzles is you can have a Diglett knock a rock off into a geyser hole. There's 2 geysers. And I did it like 6 times. I don't know what it does. Nothing happens when the Diglett, like, besides the rock falling in the geyser. Like, I did no rock. I did no Diglett. And, of course, to anyone listening, yes, I could go to Cerebi and I could look up exactly what it does. But I think the joy for me in Snap is I've never looked up Cerebi for anything. I have no clue. Like, the 80-plus hours I played, I think there's only 3 Pokemon or 4 Pokemon where I'm like, okay, Twitch chat, just tell me how to do it. Because I can't figure it out. So that has been, like, a real joy for me. And I'm thinking, like, for a person who wants that sense of discovery, like the first Pokemon Snap, I don't know what to do. And then in the desert, the second thing is there's like a sand waterfall. And it says, oh, there's a sweet scent coming from this. I've thrown apples. I've played music. I don't know what to do there either. And then there's a swamp area where Scolipede is. And there's a lot of stuff happening there. I haven't triggered anything in that zone. And then there's like one more final area where there's a bunch of holes in the wall. And like Onyx will peek out. And I'm not sure what to do there either. And that's kind of like the whole map. There's like 4 specific areas. So it's a short map, but it just feels like the things you need to do to get Pokemon to appear just seem more difficult. And we've talked about this before, how Greg needed to get all the Miniors. I haven't even done that part yet. I know that you have to get all the Miniors together and you have to like find them as you go. And that's like a tougher challenge. And there's a Kangaskhan in that same level with the Minior where it's like, okay, I know Kangaskhan does something, but I don't know what to do to get it to do something. So I love that. I love that the game has so much little details and the trial and error eventually pay off. But I feel like the DLC is good because it's free.
Yeah.
But then it gave me like this rush of frustration almost instantly. Because when I went through the park and I took all these pictures, all of them were they were all bad. Like because I've put so much time into it, to spend 3, 4, or 5 minutes on a course and then just know that maybe only one picture will be good. It's just like, oh, okay. Like, what's the point?
Keep trying.
I'm not getting a better Emolga at this point. I'm not getting a better Pikachu at this point. It's just like,
well, save your film for the tree.
Well, when you go into the tree, you have so many old Pokemon there. So you're snapping pictures of those. Like when you're in the tree, like there's Bidoof and there's Dodrio and there's Emolga. Like these aren't new Pokemon. Like there's
So it's more for the enthusiast than for the collector.
I think it is designed for more like hardcore Snap players that want to try to figure out those little puzzles. But I would imagine if you just go to Cerebi and you look it up, because like most of the Pokemon out of the 20, you don't have to do anything special for. You don't have to do anything special for Crustle or Tepig or Rockruff or Snorlax. They're literally right there. So I'd imagine if you go to Cerebi and we're like, okay, how do I activate Gyarados? Which I heard Gyarados is very hard to pop out. Like you're kind of just like looking at the back of the book for the answers to the crossword puzzle and then like flipping back and filling them in, right? Like it is a puzzle game. And the joy is discovering the puzzle. And I think the courses are cool. They're just really short.
I mean, it's DLC, dude.
It's
no,
free.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just explaining my thought process going through. And I can definitely see why people fall off Pokemon Snap because it can be discouraging if you're going through the same level over and over to get something to happen, and 1, you're not getting anything to happen, or 2, you're taking photos of other stuff but it's just not doing better than your other photos. There's not that like good feeling of like, nice job, nice job, nice job. It's just like, you were close, you were close, you were close. And it's like, well, you were close isn't scratching the itch of wanting to keep playing this game again because I'm not succeeding.
I have another game that's telling me I'm not succeeding as well. I have a whole bunch of games telling me I'm a failure.
Well, Steve, have you ever done jigsaw puzzles?
Like the putting pieces together on a table?
That
Yeah,
is
a jigsaw
the
puzzle.
only thing a
Yeah,
jigsaw puzzle
the
is.
definition of jigsaw puzzles. Yes, not being trapped in some psycho's death maze. The actual puzzle.
Yes.
No, Irene and I have a Pokemon one that we plan on doing together as a date.
Plan on doing. See, this is the thing, right? In life, there are jigsaw puzzle people. There are board game people, right? You are clearly not. See, a jigsaw puzzle person, they put together the jigsaw puzzle. They have the satisfaction of having solved,
That sounds
gotten
awesome.
all the pieces together. They see the picture and they say, I did a good job. I'm done. They take it apart, put it away. Maybe 5 years later,
They shellac
they
it and hang
take
it up.
back out again. The shellackers and hang-it-uppers are very rare because that's just a lot of work. Board game people are like, I played this game. Next week, I want to play this game again because it's going to be different. Next week, I want to play this game again because it's going to be different, right? They're not jigsaw puzzles. Pokemon Snap is the jigsaw puzzle of video games. You go through it, you solve it, you're happy with what you've done, and you put it away.
Look, it was a free update. It got at least 3 hours out of me.
But don't expect it to be a board game.
I want to get all 20 Pokemon. I want to figure out how to get Gyarados.
Start looking for those edge pieces. Match up the colors, all the different color pieces that match up to each other.
I want to get Gyarados. Greg, I got a PSA.
What? I already did PSA.
No, you made me mad with your YouTubers pronouncing
Ludicolo.
I'm not saying that.
Bufflant.
At what? Who gives these YouTubers a right to tweet, here's how you get X legendary / mythical Pokemon in the new Pokemon Snap DLC, like 30 minutes after it comes out? Like, I kind of figured there was I'm going to say legendary / mythical because I don't want to give away what it is. But out of the 20 Pokemon, there's a legendary / mythical. I would have guessed. I would have figured.
I mean, so is your complaint...
Why are we just spoiling that right away?
Why does Twitter, 5 minutes after something comes out, spoil it? Why does it do it for literally every media that exists?
Absolutely.
Why was there cars driving past people waiting in Harry Potter line or in Star Wars lines screaming spoilers at them because they saw a preview of it? Because people are mean.
It wasn't... the YouTuber wasn't... I don't think saying YouTubers, I saw like 2 of them. They were like, here's how you get X. Which is like, I want you to click on my video to see how to get it.
Because
but also,
they wanted to be the first. I'm the first person that told you how to do this. That's
all
why
you have
give me your
all you have to
subs.
do is say, like, I feel like if you want more clicks, you say, here's how you get the new legendary / mythical Pokemon, because people will go,
too many words, too much thought, and I don't know what you're talking about.
No, because people would have been like, which one is it?
No.
When you just say which one it is.
Because the legendary / mythical is in your like top 25% of Pokemon enthusiasts. The bottom 75%, no Pokemon name. Well, I'm sorry, like the middle 50%, no Pokemon names. The lower 25%, no Pikachu and the fire lizard guy.
First off, look, it's not Volcanion. I get it. If it was like, look, this is how you get Volcanion, people would have been like, which mythical? Which one is that? Is that a Pokemon?
Yeah, it's the one that Ash got stuck to in Steampunk Land.
I sincerely believe that if you said, this is how you get the new legendary or mythical, you could replace the words, you could put a / in the new Pokemon Snap DLC, you would get more clicks. Because I would be like, I wonder which one that is. But now that they said it, 1, I'm annoyed. But 2, I'm not going to click on your video because I don't want to know how to get it. I want to figure it out myself.
Yeah, well,
But that's you. You are a tiny percentage of the public. You
don't think that the vagueness
No.
of the Pokemon would make you want to click versus just laying the Pokemon out?
The amount of people that are absolutely spoiler averse are smaller than the people who don't care about spoilers.
True.
I don't care about spoilers. In fact, knowing spoilers helps me enjoy things because
I don't care about spoilers either, in the sense of I was going to go to Cerebi and look it up. I was more thinking.
What's the problem?
The more just like blatantly saying what it is on the
that's not caring about spoilers.
Well,
I
no.
would prefer to know.
So the
because I would have gone to Cerebi and looked it up anyways.
The problem is, number one, the word is pronounced vague, not vag. And
Vagos.
No, it's pronounced
Ludicolo.
ludicolo.
It's like Piccolo, but with a lud in front of it.
This was an issue with Monster Hunter Rise as well, because they literally and they're like, it's fundamentally of like, what is the purpose of having this creature in the game? In Monster Hunter Rise, there's a creature that's supposed to show up and surprise you and be like, oh geez, that thing just, what the heck was that just came in? And like within 30 minutes of it being introduced to the game, everybody had YouTube videos and tweets and like, oh, they put this one in the game when they specifically had not put that in any of their. And it's like, it's the same thing, right? The legendary mythical is supposed to be, oh wow, this guy's in here, what a surprise. And like the tweeters and everybody are ruining that surprise for everyone.
They put Surprisosaurus Rex in Monster Hunter?
Yes, they put Surprisosaurus Rex in Monster Hunter.
Look, we've gone this whole show not saying which one it is.
Yeah.
Because I also don't know which one.
I've also forgotten which one it is.
And I think for me, the enjoyment of Snap was being like, oh, look at, I didn't know Bidoof was in this game, or wow, I didn't know Blastoise was in this game, or whatnot, right? There are some exceptions, you know, if these Pokemon were shown in a trailer, like Tropius or Ursaring or whatever was shown in the new Pokemon Snap trailer, I feel like that's free game to talk about. If somebody chooses not to watch the trailer and then complains when they're listening to a Pokemon news podcast, you know, that's kind of on them at that point. Like, we're talking about official media.
I do remember which one it is.
I just think I'm thinking from a YouTuber. I'm not a YouTuber, but I'm thinking from a.
I mean, you are a YouTuber.
How can I get people to click on my video? I just think they get more mileage out of that click by being vague in that situation instead of just laying out and saying it. I am trying to give them advice to increase their clickbait, and they just kind of they overshot.
See,
they were too direct.
What you're also missing is the people who are going to go to this video are the people who want the problem solved for them. Mm-hmm. They're not, I want to put effort or thought into this kind of people. So if you say legendary or mythical, once again, you're requiring effort and thought on their part for them to figure out what does that actually mean if I want to actually click on this video. And that's not the audience they're trying to appeal to.
I don't have time to waste on figuring out which mythical
Greg
it is.
Leatherman, I went onto my Switch on Friday at like 1 p.m, and somebody was playing Pokemon UNITE when they were supposed to be at work.
I had conference calls from 9 a.m. until 1 p.m., and that was my only lunch break and, might I add, only break of the day. I did not get to have a break until 1, and I had been on the calls. I had been at work since 7:30 a.m. So
Greg,
I took my
sus
much
Leatherman
deserved.
right there. Kinda sus Leatherman.
I'm pretty sure Greg has like 200 more matches in Unite than I do. Instead of actually playing Unite, I'm sitting over a. Let me tell you. Can I? Let's back up a second. My air conditioning went out
Again?
The thing outside was fine. It was something inside. It wasn't. You know the
fan?
furnace in the basement? Yeah, it wasn't blowing anything.
Okay. So your fan went out.
But everything outside was working. They eventually came. It took them like 15 minutes. They replaced one part. Boom. Cold air. Great. While everyone in the world is playing Unite, I'm over here with a MacBook Pro on my lap with no air conditioning. Let me tell you, the MacBook Pro gets very hot. I'm trying to edit these like infographics.
You made your choices.
I'm very happy that people. I'm
Do
very,
you not
very
have
happy.
access to a public library?
Yeah.
At 3 a.m. in the morning?
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Captain Night Owl never sleep.
Yeah, I'm
Like
doing,
you
I'm,
look,
I'm
you
very,
make your own poor choices all the time. If you worked normal business hours like the rest of us, you could go to a cafe that has AC. You could sit there having your chai latte, making your little graphics, and then show up at 6 p.m. for your little stream or whatever you do, and then get off stream, relax for like half an hour, and go to bed, and get up and go and enjoy a lovely day in a caffeinated, cold
when I'm in
state.
I have
Minnesota,
been to several wonderful coffee shops in downtown Milwaukee. Third Ward over by
there's a lot of good ones in
office.
Milwaukee. We got a lot of good ones here. When I'm in Minnesota, if you want me to get up at 9 a.m. to go to a coffee shop, I'll do it. You just let me know. I'll put it on the
Get
calendar.
up at 9 a.m. 9 a.m. I've been at work for an hour and a half.
Been at work for a chunk of time at that point, but I could use a break, sure.
I'm very happy that people like the graphics I've been making.
They have been very good graphics, but don't yell at us for your poor choices. Go to bed, sleep like a normal person.
No, I'm just saying that you've played a lot of Unite. I haven't had a chance.
You have as much chance as I have. I also work an 8-hour job where I have
just talked about how you were playing Unite during your job.
during my lunch. I get a lunch break. It's federally mandated and state mandated.
When you're on like 8 Zoom calls in a row with no video and you're on only mute, I know you're playing Unite.
I did not play Unite on those calls on Friday. I have played Unite on large town hall calls where I know nobody will speak to me and I will not have to have had paid any sort of attention. But I have an 8-hour job, thank you very much. I work from 7:30 till the time I stop. And I get a lunch break in there.
This is on Pokemon.com. Pokemon 25, the Red EP. 3 new artists have joined the Pokemon 25th anniversary, including Vince Staples, Sin, and Zoo. Staples and Sin contribute to an exclusive new song on the Red EP. There's a lot happening in this press release, and I'm not happy about it. Number one is Vince Staples. The S is not capitalized in Staples. I don't know if that's supposed to be the proper, but they capitalize it in the next sentence. Number two is they capitalize the Red EP, but halfway through the sentence, they just don't capitalize the Red EP. But then they capitalize it again in the next sentence. The Red EP, along with Mabel's song "Take It Home." Oh, they capitalized Vince Staples at this one. Oh boy, this seems. This music thing seems like a disaster. I'm just gonna say that.
I'm sorry, it's bad.
Let me confirm, is a disaster.
Vince Staples says, "I've always been a Pokemon fan, so I was particularly special to be asked to take part in the 25th anniversary." Got 'em. Vince Staples faces the challenge head on, drawing inspiration from the iconic characters Mew and Raichu. These Gen 1ers they picked. I'm excited for people to get to hear Got 'em, and I hope the song resonates with fans, especially the ones that grew up with Pokemon like I did. Sin offers the song Wonderful. I'm so excited to release one of my favorite songs I've ever written, Wonderful, in the celebration 25 years of Pokemon. The song is special to me because I felt it comments on the growing pains, also emphasizing a destination of grace and beauty. Eggs hatching when they want, or in other words, when they're ready. That was a weird transition in that sentence. When I wrote the song, my newborn baby was in the room. I can hear the influence of becoming a new mother in music. It will always ring special for me. And then Mabel literally just says, "Take It Home," an original song from a Brit Award recipient, Mabel. I don't think they got a quote from her like they did the other two. If they did, the quote would be there, I would assume, but it's
Well,
not.
I mean, the Mabel song was released before the EP came out, and the two others only appeared on this EP. So I think Mabel did a quote earlier about why I'm rolling around on a bed with Jigglypuff.
When their song was released on its own.
I watched the music video to that. It was fine. It was like it didn't really stick out to me.
Does this infer that there will be a blue EP?
Yeah,
Yes,
there is a blue one.
It's going to have Katy Perry and
Wait, really?
the other two people they announced.
Zoo is going to be on the blue.
Jade
I
Levin.
thought Zoo was doing the remixes for the red remix and the blue remix. Or is Zoo doing a song on blue and somebody else is doing the remixes?
No, if you scroll down, it says reflecting the long-standing tradition of dual release the core Pokemon
okay.
series, which each featuring nuances difference from the original, paying homage to the original Pokemon Red and Blue. The Blue EP will follow later this month. It will feature remixes of the Red songs by Grammy-nominated recording artist Zoo.
So Zoo's doing the remixes.
Yes.
So is Blue not going to have any of the other songs on it? Is there going to be a yellow that has Katy Perry and somebody else?
The Katy Perry and Post Malone and J Balvin, those are going to be on the official album, which is supposed to be 10 songs, I believe. So we know 3 of the 10.
I'm very confused.
Also, it really bothers me. I went to graphic design. The Pokemon Blue EP and Pokemon Red EP in the yellow bar on the album is not properly centered. It's too high, and the accent on the E is touching the top, and there's too much space on the bottom. It's really bothersome because, like, it's a very simple album cover, which is fine. I like simple. I get the aesthetic. But you got, because there's not a lot to focus on, it is very noticeable that it's not centered. Also, they're using like Myriad Pro, which decent font, fine. Just shift it down like 2 pixels. You can do it.
So, you guys probably don't know the answer, but is Vince Staples related to the Staple Singers?
I've never heard of Vince Staples.
Or the Staple Singers, be honest.
I've heard of the Staples Center.
I've heard of
No.
Staples the Store. I don't think so. I would assume not.
It's not that common of a last name, though.
Yeah, it's not that uncommon.
I don't know.
I mean, my last name's not common, and there's still a lot of us around.
Well, it's not like Anderson in Minnesota, okay?
Well,
Trust.
look, you made choices.
That poor choices.
I mean, Anderson is second only after Johnson. So you could be William Johnson, and then nobody would know who you are. I listened to it. I don't remember listening to it. I remember thinking, oh, Vince Staples says Raichu in the song. It's the first time I've heard Pokemon directly referenced in any of these songs. I automatically like this one better. But that was the extent of it. They are, to me, very forgettable.
Yeah, it's fine.
Can I
can
matches
I
the
buy
25th
the
anniversary?
EP? Can I get it on vinyl? Can I order a CD of it? Can I put my? I want like a physical thing. I don't have a Spotify.
As far as I can tell, you can buy it digitally, but you can't get it in a physical form that I've seen, because none of the ways they show that list to get it have a physical anything. It's like,
Yeah, I see. You can play it on Apple Music. You can play it on Spotify. You can download it in the iTunes store, which I don't. I think literally the last time I bought music from iTunes was Gorillaz. I don't remember what album that was.
I mean, I just
Was it
bought
their first album? Because that was about like 2000.
No, it was their last album.
last
It
one.
was
I mean,
the Plastic Beach. No, it wasn't even Plastic. I don't know which one it was.
I will, if I like it, I will always buy a physical copy because I don't want it to be removed. And also, I want to buy it in a way that's most direct so that the artist gets the most money. So if they're on Bandcamp or some other way, I will always buy a physical copy of it. If not, then I will go to iTunes and buy a physical copy. And I did not see a physical copy of this, but since when I listened to it, I was like, and I don't want one.
Not,
Also,
not available on Amazon as a...
No,
it says on their website it's available on Amazon Music.
Amazon Music.
No, on Amazon Music, not as an album that you can order.
Got it. Yes, it's on Amazon Music. It's on Pandora. It's on YouTube. It's on Tidal. It's on YouTube Music. I'd be interested in a physical version just to collect it.
Maybe it'll come out at the end of the year.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
Hopefully,
there'll be like a whole collection to get.
A
little
box,
box set.
Yeah.
The only reason I think they're gonna do it is because how else are they gonna distribute in Japan? They got record. They love their physical music over there. They got
says speaking for a whole country.
They do. They got Tower Records everywhere. They're like 17 floors. It's great.
We have record stores here too. People love it.
Yeah.
No, it's not the same. It's not like, because I remember I used to go to the Tower Records in Manhattan, and that thing was like 5 stories tall. Each floor had its own like genre and everything. That we don't have that anymore.
I took Nick to Electric Fetus, and we bought physical music.
Okay, that's a specialty store.
Does the 25th anniversary and this music, which again I feel like we're always down on the music when it comes out.
I look, I'm not down on it. If you like this style of music, and a lot of people do, like people really love the Katy Perry song. It didn't do anything for me. It is not the music that I enjoy listening to. There are a ton of people who, like, I know there are people in Slack who are big Vince Staples song. This is the first thing I've ever heard from Vince Staples.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't have an opinion other than this is the type of music I tend not to like.
When they have the Jukebox the Ghost
Yeah.
Pokemon song, Greg and I will be
We will
all
be
in.
there.
When the Wolf Parade Pokemon song
Yeah.
comes out, the Tokyo
When
Police
the-
Club does something Pokemon, I'm in.
When the Decemberists make their medieval...
No, hard line, no Decemberists.
Oh,
Those people are way too pompous and full of themselves. And if you try to get Sufjan Stevens up in here, then I'm leaving. I'm out the room.
Yeah, well, he's gonna do a whole region album series.
Sufjan Stevens is Digimon. Okay, that's what I'm telling you.
I mean, you're not wrong.
So we have Meloetta and Go. They're putting a lot of music stuff, etc., etc. Does this end with us finally getting the Sword and Shield album? Like, we don't have that music yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe. No.
Maybe.
Also,
And
there's no G in etc.
Is it weird that they haven't, like, they usually release them pretty quick in Japan after the games come out,
Yeah.
right? Is it not in Japan at all?
Let's Go came out in November, right? Or October, November. I went to Japan in March, however many months that is, 5 months. And they had aisles of Let's Go music CDs in their Pokemon centers. So it was less than 6 months.
It's because there's one more secret DLC coming out that since they haven't released that DLC, they can't release the music from it yet.
So, can we confirm that it's not like it's not the soundtrack isn't out?
The
in
soundtrack
Japan
is
at
not
all?
out in Japan. No, there's no Sword and Shield music at all. It's very weird. It's been almost 2 years. And we don't have music for that game. Oh, side note, speaking of DLC, thank you, Will, for bringing that up. I don't think there will be any more Pokemon DLC because when the game originally got data mined, there was a bunch of missing spots for icons, player icons, and for Pokemon missing, and now they're all filled in. So there's no more missing spots or no more missing icons. So I don't think there will be like a second round of DLC. Maybe, I don't know. Obviously, they can always add paid.
They can always add.
They can always add it, but
where's missing no.
But when the DLC originally came out, there was like 20 spots missing, and then there was a bunch of icons for your like player character missing, and now those are all filled in technically. So for me, this music thing is just like I don't care about it until it's done.
Basically, yeah.
It's like when they're like hyping up a movie and it's like, look at all these new trailers, and it's like I'm already gonna. I'll just wait. It's fine.
I mean, I don't.
Just give me the whole thing when it's done. I'll give it a chance then.
My same complaint stands. I really wish the Pokemon songs were more related to Pokemon and not here's feelings I had while thinking about Pokemon, but I'm not going to mention Pokemon in any way, shape, or form. I'm going to use very generic terms.
Here's a song that we couldn't fit onto an album, and we're going to change a couple words so we can give it to you.
Change words. Like, what was her... yeah, I was so excited to write the song about being a mother for Pokemon. Like...
I mean, it is called Wonderful. That is a Pokemon character's catchphrase.
I mean, it's kind of like hatching eggs in Pokemon to then having a newborn baby is kind of a stretch.
Kinda? It is the definition of a stretch.
Babies come from eggs.
Yes. Oh,
we need to take a break. Thank you for making it far through the first half of this episode. When we come back, we will be talking about Pokemon Go and Pokemon Unite. We'll see you on the other side.
Ludicolo.
All right, so this is what happens. I bring out Zarina, which has the ability Queenly Majesty, and Incineroar's going to fake out, but it can't because Queenly Majesty. And then Rillaboom's going to Grassy Glide, but it can't because of Queenly Majesty. It can't. He wasted his whole turn, chat. Gone. 8 million IQ.
Big brain. It was like literally Zarina is so good. Gosh, that play was incredible. And we are back. We got some breaking news. Don't think you will. If you're driving your car, you might have to pull over. If you're running and listening to this show, you might have to stop.
What if I'm riding my bike?
Stop.
I would stop.
Okay.
What's better than Pokemon? Question mark. Pokemon and your favorite sweet treats. For a limited time, celebrate your favorite first partner Pokemon featured on packages of your favorite snack. Get fired up with fire-type mini Nilla wafers, or look for the cool water type on mini Oreos, and get your green on with grass types on mini Chips Ahoy. I think this is the Oreo tweet.
This is the Oreo.
Didn't do anything. They took the reject 12 packs that you put in kids' lunches, and then the kids are still disappointed. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. Greg has it.
And Oreo already had a Pokemon on it.
They didn't do anything special.
No.
Oh, come on. That's the theme of the 25th anniversary, Steve. Get with the picture. It's nothing special.
The 25th anniversary official sponsor is Normal Types, a.k.a. nothing special.
How? You just made Steven super happy.
I know.
How do you do... How is this messed up? How do Oreo and Pokemon do nothing? Lady Gaga got a whole cookie.
We don't know.
Lady Gaga has lots of money.
They have another month. They could do
doesn't.
something else.
Yeah, I guess they could do something else, but I want like a yellow, red, green, blue cookie. What am I supposed to put into a plastic box next to my Ancient Mew in the closet?
Oh, don't put cookies in the box, please.
I did that once.
You gotta air seal it.
Yeah, in those cereal box sealers. Look,
I bet Greg collected the like Pepsi Star Wars cans.
No,
was that not a thing? I'm pretty sure it was with Pepsi.
I mean, it was. I didn't do it. I did have briefly was it Pizza Hut that had the weird toppers on top? I don't remember.
Yeah, Pizza Hut was always the Star Wars.
Yeah, it was. I have a bunch of weird stuff packed away somewhere. I mean, I'm excited for Nilla wafers because I really like Nilla wafers. But I will say that I am working through my Pokemon mini Oreos, and they are just Oreos.
They're just Oreos.
They're just Oreos.
Well, here's the thing.
No
here's
one's
what
buying
they don't.
Normal Oreos.
Well, this is what they don't tell you. Number one, yes, people do buy normal Oreos. Don't be a fool.
Yeah, I did like 2 weeks ago, and it was the biggest regret ever. There's not enough frosting in between.
What?
I can't fit my
get
fork
devil
through the
stuff.
two
What?
cookies.
Get
You,
out,
okay,
get
don't
out,
bring up
get
that
out.
monstrosity again. You are the worst person. You are. Why mess up a fork to do a dumb thing like dipping a cookie in milk?
Because I don't want to wash my hands.
But
Either
just
way.
eat. It's a finger food.
Either way, the mini packs. This is the problem. This is it's like this is how we can tell that we're not in the 1970s anymore. The mini packs are what we in the 70s would have called cereal. You take the mini Oreos. You're probably going to need several of those packs. Four, probably. Take four of the mini packs of Oreos. Put them in a bowl. Pour some whole milk on top. Take a spoonful of sugar. Dust it up on there and spin it. Stir it around.
Stir it around.
Mix
Get it all
in.
slushy.
And have some
And eat it.
real Oreo cereal. And you can eat it with a spoon.
I'm,
So
I'm
your-
actually into this.
Your hands aren't going to get dirty.
I'm actually into pouring
But
mini
you could
Oreos
also
into
do
a
this
bowl
with
milk.
Nilla
But
wafers.
2%.
No, whole
No,
milk.
there was
Buddy,
no
you
2%
live
in
in
the 70s.
Wisconsin.
70s was whole milk. We didn't trust that 2% stuff.
I don't even think it was invented
what's-
yet.
What's the other 90? What's the other 98%? What is it?
Yeah.
It's cancer.
What was the other one? We got Oreos, Nilla wafers.
Nilla
are
wafers
a
are
willy.
so
Chips Ahoy,
good.
Chips Ahoy, Chips Ahoy.
What you
Nilla
need to get
wafers are-
banana milk for your Nilla wafers.
Oh yeah, Nilla wafers are some of my favorite cookies. Just hands
Chips
down.
Ahoy.
Are bad.
It's
but whatever.
basically
Chips
just
Ahoy are pretty bad.
Cookie Crisp, which who knows if they make that. We probably got in trouble
who
for
even
saying
knows?
they did. But it's just Cookie Crisp.
Yeah.
That's
I
all it
saw on
is.
TikTok there is a cosmic brownie cereal somewhere out there, and I need that in my life.
I don't like the cosmic brownies.
I love the cosmic brownies.
What's
course
a
you
cosmic
do.
brownie?
You
Oh
love
my
a-
gosh.
anything that is pure garbage is your number
Cosmic
one favorite.
brownie.
Cosmic
It's
brownie.
like
I mean, cosmic brownies are just a brownie with sprinkles on top.
they're like they're like big like nerds though. They're not like little sprinkles. They're like chocolate. They're like chocolate coated sprinkles. They're like little M&Ms almost. They're good.
So
All right. Well, now that we got past the Oreo drama, let's talk about the
Wait, I'm looking
Niantic
at-
drama.
oh,
There's
is a
more
cereal.
Oreo drama that will be had this year. Take
I'm
my
sure.
word for it.
oh,
I'm sure there will be.
Hey, you can get cosmic brownie cereal at Walmart apparently.
Then I have to go there.
But,
All right,
what do
we'll
you
start
want
with
from
the
me?
good. We'll start with the good stuff, I guess. Ultra Unlock Part 3. This is off Pokemon Go Live.com. Trainers! Hoopa's mischief from Pokemon Go Fest continues with the final part of our Unlock event, Part 3, Sword and Shield. No one could have predicted that. You're right, Niantic. You're the long con, really. If we go in order for 5 years, they'll never see this coming. No one would have predicted that the Pokemon originally discovered in the Galar region of Pokemon Sword and Shield would be making their Pokemon Go debut.
Except for the ones that they already released.
The final part of this year's Ultra Unlock will feature the debut of the two legendary Pokemon found in the Galar region, Zacian and Zamazenta. Also, people say Zacian really weird.
Like Ludicolo?
Zaxian.
Zach.
I hear Zacian a lot. It's
Oh, I
just,
could
it's
see.
just Zacian.
I could see like Zacian does follow rules, some rules of grammar.
Yeah,
Zanaxian. Zanaxian is what it is right there.
No one ever says Zamazenta wrong. At least I've never heard anyone say It's pretty big.
Zamazenta.
Zamazenta. I love Zamazenta and the Heroes of Battle
Zamazenta and Zacian.
It appears that the ones who brought them to to Pokemon Go was none other than Hoopa,
Which
has
can't
recently caused mischief during Go Fest. Alongside them, Squavit, Greedent, Wooloo, Dubwool, and Phalanx will be arriving in Pokemon Go. Let me tell you know how many times I reread this press release looking for Cramorant? It ain't here.
It's not here. It's never coming.
If you're lucky, you may even find a shiny Galarian Meowth, shiny Galarian Farfetch, and a shiny Galarian Weezing, or a shiny Galarian Stunfisk. From March. I don't know where that March came from. From August 20th through August 31st local time, Squavit and Wooloo will appear in the wild. You can also find Galarian Darumaka, Trubbish, and more. If you're lucky, you may encounter a Phalanx. I guess Trubbish makes sense because it Gigantamaxes. I'm gonna assume that that's why they or including Trubbish there. The following Pokemon are hatching from 7K eggs: Galarian Meowth, Galarian Ponyta, Galarian Slowpoke, Galarian Farfetch, Galarian Zigzagoon, Galarian Darmaka, Galarian Stunfisk. This actually, feels like good 7K eggs, honestly. Since they're all Galarian and since they all can be shiny. Seems good. If you're lucky, you may encounter a shiny Galarian Meowth, Farfetch, Weezing, Stunfisk that will be appearing in raids during the event. Complete event-exclusive timed research for your chance to encounter Pokemon first discovered in the region. Field research from Pokestops include you may encounter a Squavit, Wooloo, or Phalanx. Starting Thursday, August 19th, uniforms that appear in the Galar region will be available as avatar items in the Pokemon GO. This seems cool. Pick up the Gym Leader Challenger uniform avatar for free, which is worn by Pokemon trainers challenging the gyms. If you want to show off your Dragon type or your Dark type pride, you can purchase the Dragon type or Dark type uniforms in the shop. Okay. On August 20th, an event-exclusive gift stickers will be available. Pick them up by spinning stops and gyms. It's a two-week event, so week 1, you will have Galarian Slowpoke, Farfetch, Unknown U, Galarian Zigzagoon. Just assume that I'm going to put Galarian in front of these Pokemon's names. They will appear in 1-star raids. Galarian, Weezing, Lapras, Phalanx will appear in 3-star raids. I guess Lapras makes sense because it can also Gigantamax. Not that Gigantamax is in the game, but lore-wise, I feel like it works. Zacian, in the Hero of Many Battles form, will appear in 5-star raids. Mega Beedrill will be appearing in raids. Mega Evolve Beedrill for an advantage against Zacian. Okay. No one's going to do that. But thanks for bringing Mega Beedrill back. Week 2, which starts on September 1st. Meowth, Ponyta, Darumaka, Unknown
September
U.
1st, doesn't it?
What?
Doesn't week 2 raid start on August 26th and end September 1st?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yes. Thank you. August 26th through September 1st. Meowth, Ponyta, Darmok in 1-star raids. Snorlax, Stunfisk, Phalanx in 3-star raids. Zamazenta will be in 5-star raids. Mega Pidgeot will appear in Mega raids. Mega Evolve Pidgeot for advantage against Zamazenta. And yeah, and they did like a little trailer for it with like Hoopa like dropping Wooloo down. It's really good. It's a really cute 30-second trailer. So before we get to the drama, I want to say this. And I feel like we've literally said this every year, once a year for Pokemon Go. Because there's always something people are mad about. And then they go, well, Niantic's just releasing these to hide the fact
I was going to say
mad.
it, but you would get mad.
Niantic takes so long to communicate anything with us. They take so long to fix things. They take so long to do anything in this game. So while I understand and I'm on people's side of being upset about the changes they made during a global pandemic, they didn't panic release Galar to try to hide it. They've clearly been working on this for months. This is the same company that can't even release Kecleon. And it took them 4 years to release a Smeargle. Or maybe 3, I can't remember.
Ever since they panicked released Meltan, you can't trust that company.
It probably took them all 6 months to get this Wooloo trailer done. This isn't a panic release. It was on the calendar, and we know that Niantic doesn't know how a calendar works.
Right, because Janine left.
Before GoFest, they said, hey, on this date in the future, in 2 months, we're removing COVID restrictions. And you know what they did? They removed them. Because that's how their calendar works. They set something, and then they just do it.
They just don't have it on autopilot.
They don't know how to backpedal. They don't know how to last-minute change.
They don't know how to do
the
communication.
narrative.
They can't pivot. They can't pivot.
They can't pivot.
the narrative of this was like a panic release is just mind-blowing to me. Like,
People
I
need
will
to
say,
justify their outrage.
People want to justify that they're interested in this thing while they're still mad at the thing by saying, "Oh, this is a panic release to distract me," meaning I really want to do this, but I'm also still mad at the stupid choices they made.
the choice they made is stupid. Yeah, it's dumb. The COVID stuff is dumb. We're gonna get to that in a second. The Ultra Unlock being Sword and Shield is really good. Like, no one predicted it. So having
I wanted it to be Arceus.
Yes.
yeah, or Giratina or whatever patterns.
We
Giratina.
have
done.
Giratina. We need Hoopa. We need Volcanion. We need
Kecleon. We need
Kecleon.
Shaman. We need literally
Yeah.
half of the Gen 5 Pokedex.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot missing. But we're just going to jump to 7.
Which is whatever. Like, why? Who cares if we're following it in order? Like, at this point, it doesn't matter.
Patterns are not patterns.
It's like, catch the sheep, evolve the sheep, then complain
Be
for the
done
next
with the
5
sheep.
years that there's too many sheep. Like, that's
I can't catch the sheep because Go-Goat's not in the game yet.
yeah, there you go.
There's no Go-Go.
I still think, like, when Sword and Shield came out, they should have just released Wooloo and Squavit and all the other things, and that was the perfect opportunity to, like, line things up. Who cares if things are not in order? And everyone was like, well, they gotta go in order. And it's like, why? Well, because they've been doing it. Well, okay, after 5, they're not doing it anymore. Well, they haven't been doing it when they released Weezing, like, 2 years ago or whatever. Like, who cares about this order? To just release the Pokemon. I think that, well, I guess it doesn't matter. I mean, Sword and Shield sold incredibly well. It's like the third best-selling game. It's like 21 million at this point. I just think thematically, it's been enjoyable when you open up Masters, they're doing an event that also Pokemon Go is doing, that's also in Sword and Shield, that's also, in the TCG. And we'll get there eventually. Pokemon Go is going to catch up. They're going to release Gen 9 or Gen 10, and as long as Pokemon Go isn't canceled by that point, things will be in symmetry. But whatever. I would like an extra Zacian and an extra Zamazenta without playing through the game again. That seems cool.
Yeah.
I would like a Wooloo. Seems cool. Squavit's cute. Very weird that they were like, hey, we have a bunch of Alola legendaries we could have done as well, and could have made the hoop. Like, that's fine. Maybe they have something else cooler for that.
Check the calendar.
At a certain point where you have to get Gigantamax. At a certain point, we have to get Dynamax.
Yeah.
We're probably going to get Z moves or something. Go Battle League is still a hot mess. I think, outrage aside, the Ultra Unlock Part 3 seems cool. It seems like great. I mean, and like, I think, how do you top finally putting Shiny Dialga and Shiny Palkia in raids, which, people wanted for a very, very long time? I don't think, Tapu Koko would be as exciting. Maybe.
Well, for somebody who rarely, if ever, does raids, unless I'm like, it's right in front of me, and you guys are forcing me to, this is like it's a non-event. Like, yeah, I'll catch the new Galarians that they're going to drop if my Pokeball hack catches them. Otherwise,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, instead of Wooloo and Squavit, they could have done, what are the Young Goose and what's the other one? Pikapeck?
Yeah.
Pikapeck, yeah.
Yeah, I guess that would be it. It seems fine. It seems like an exciting event. Whether or not, people are not playing or playing, I mean, that's up to them, but I think the trailer they did for it, I think the announcement, I think it was all good.
If you want real drama concerning uniforms, Greg,
Yes.
stop putting that garbage on my Instagram timeline. I don't care who the artist is.
You talking about the Milo stuff?
Yes. Stop it. I don't want to see that.
Milo is the best.
You're getting an unfollow.
Fine. You can't
all right.
handle the hotness. You can't handle what's good and what's cool. Then you garbage up your feed with your natty body pillows that went to Thailand.
Okay, so before Go Fest, we got to paint the picture here. Pokemon Go is a very big game. There's a lot of players, and there are a lot of hardcore players that Pokemon Go is their life and their identity. And I don't mean that negatively. That's, some people, World of Warcraft
Perfectly
is their
acceptable.
life and
Yeah.
their identity.
Let's not bring them up right now.
And so before Go Fest, they said, we're going to remove these COVID restrictions in New Zealand and the United States, which on one hand, you could be like, well, the United States has had a pretty decent rollout compared to other countries, and New Zealand's been pretty good for a while. Like, New Zealand's been pretty awesome. Everyone seems to look to New Zealand. So you're like, okay. And this is not the first time Niantic's removed features when the pandemic has gotten worse, which goes to my beginning argument of this company doesn't know how to pivot, probably because they need approval from Pokemon or Nintendo or Google or who knows. Maybe John Hankey lost Masuda's phone number. I'm not sure what happened there. But when they announced their COVID restriction, and maybe I'm misremembering, Greg, and Will, you can let me know. Just trying to be fair before we get into this. When they announced they were rolling back their COVID restrictions, which was like 2 months ago, which was after GoFest, everything was looking pretty good. Greg was planning on going to Gen Con. PAX is announced and happening.
Yeah, I mean, things were not good, but they had shown signs of improvement. But still at that time, there were some worrying signs. But people had already decided to go forward with the understanding of we would hit the July 4th benchmark that we were supposed to hit.
Yeah, it was before, the 4th of July and everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, when we were still technically on track, there were some worrying signs, but technically the signs were, hey, we're probably going to get there.
Yes. And then the Delta stuff got worse.
Oh yeah.
And like classic Niantic, when that date came around, they flipped their switch and things got turned off, and the new things got turned on. There are new things, like instead of getting 1 free raid pass a day, you get 2 free raid passes, and there's some other you can see in the app. I don't have to explain it all. But the biggest thing was the distance of interacting with a Pokestop and gym returned to normal, and that's what made people upset. Because not only did it make it easier to reach Pokestops, but it added a lot of people who have trouble walking, maybe they're on crutches or in a wheelchair or bedridden, made it easier for them to play the game. But also from a person who is outside, and I want to give a very specific situation for me. It's a first world problem, not the end of the world. But before I explain the situation, I will say the first 4 years of Pokemon Go with the distance was always fine. But when they increased it, it was better. And so I went downtown Milwaukee during the afternoon, which is paid parking. I parked because I was picking up some food, paid like $1.50 to park. There was 2 raids. One was a Heracross. Cool. Used my free raid pass, did the Heracross, walked over to a different raid, did my unknown with my free raid pass, picked up my food, got in my car, and then I saw a Palkia. And I was like, okay, well, I still have another free raid pass from yesterday. I want to go do that Palkia. but I can't walk there. I mean, I can, but it's like 15 minutes there, 15 minutes back. So it's just easier if I drive over there. So I drove over there, and again, I was like, well, oh, cool, a parking spot. I parked, but I was just out of the distance of it. And I was like, well, if I get out of my car and walk over there, I have to pay for parking. Or I could try to go down the street, U-turn, park again. Or I could go a little farther and then get free parking, but then walk. And at that point, in all of this, like, driving 2 minutes to get there and then trying to find parking, I just left. It wasn't worth it anymore. Like, I want to play your game, and I can't reach the gym, even though, like, I should be able to. Like, I'm so close to it. Like, if I had, like, 2 more spots in front of me, I would be able to pull forward and do it. But I don't want to pay $1.50 to park. I don't want to drive farther and then walk 5 minutes. I could just remote raid pass for $1 at this point, and it would have been significantly easier, and it would have been cheaper than paying for parking. So it's like, I didn't play your game because it was an inconvenience for me, and just having the distance be a little bit bigger, where I can reach a gym across the street.
So wait, why couldn't you use a remote raid pass?
Oh, I had a free raid pass for the day. Why would I want to try to use my free raid pass?
You just said you would have used a remote raid pass.
I could have used a remote raid pass, and it would have been cheaper than paying $1.50 for parking.
Before Greg says what he has to say, number one, don't be a wuss. Risk the ticket. Get out the car. Park it. Don't pay.
Shiny's worth the ticket.
Fools
I
who
knew
pay
one of you guys were going to say that.
You guys pay for the light rail here in Minneapolis like fools. You don't leave your car for 5 minutes thinking that some meter person is just waiting like a vulture to swoop down and write you that $25 ticket. Come on,
I would be.
now.
I think there are so many situations where people would play the game more. Maybe, I don't know. I think people have been saying this. Maybe we haven't said it in the show, but I don't want to cross a dangerous intersection or like try to repark my car or to make a U-turn or to do this if I could just like slightly reach the stop a little bit better and safely.
Or you could pay the $1 like they want you to do so they can make money.
There's a couple of things that one, it wasn't like the distance was a mile, right? It wasn't like I could sit in my house and reach everything within in a mile. It was like 80 meters at the new distance, which meant I think
it was 800 meters because I think the original distance is 400 meters, but it's not 400 meters there. It's 200 both ways because it makes a I don't know how circumference works. Right. But I believe it's 400, and then the new one was 800, and then they brought it back down to 400. I think that's how it works.
Whatever it was, it wasn't that I still didn't have to get to that range. What it did do, apart from making it easier for people to just get to it, but a lot of their landmarks, a lot of the things are inside things. And when the distance was increased, you could be outside where it was safer, and you were in the open and reach things that were enclosed and in small places. So in downtown Minneapolis, there are Starbucks that are only inside. There are murals that are only inside. And you could finally reach them from the outside. I still had to walk there. I still had to get to that area by walking or whatever, but I no longer had to be inside in an enclosed area, which we all know isn't safe. So the frustrating thing about how they presented this change back was, well, we want you to walk. Well, it wasn't 50 miles. It wasn't that I could get to 1 million stops by just sitting in my home. I still had to walk there. So their reasoning from the very beginning was not a good reason. I still have to walk to it. And you keep saying you're monitoring the situation. You're not, because the situation turned at the beginning of July, and you didn't touch it or re-examine it in the 3 weeks that you had before you turned it off. You did nothing. So the biggest issue I have with their communication is not only are they bad at it, is that they don't even think about what they're saying. They contradict themselves, their words, never match up to what they actually say they're doing. If you were watching the situation, we knew this was bad at the beginning of July. We knew this was bad during Go Fest. We knew this was bad. And you keep saying, well, we're monitoring it and we're going to choose. You're not monitoring it. In fact, you didn't even say anything about it until a bunch of people said, we don't want to play your game anymore, and we're not going to give you free advertising, and we're going to give you bad advertisement. And then you put out an incredibly tepid press release. You can't have it both ways. You can't say we're monitoring it and then not actually monitor the situation or listen to anybody giving you feedback. You can't do that and expect people to respect your company.
Good transition. I have the press release here. The press release is on their official website, not on PokemonGoLive.com, which I've been saying this for years. I have no proof. I'm sorry. I don't. And I'm sure Niantic will never just come out and say this. But I'm almost positive they cannot post anything live. They cannot post anything on PokemonGoLive.com without Pokemon's approval. And normally it takes them... Normally they don't respond to things in the same day. So since they responded this in the same day and they didn't post it on PokemonGoLive.com, even though it's specifically for Pokemon Go people, they posted it on their own website, makes me think that
They didn't run it through the approvals that they normally have to run it for Pokemon stuff.
Or they ran it through like a lighter approval.
Yeah, they went through their legal department to say how quickly will we get sued and is this breaching any contracts, yes or no?
Because they needed to put out something. Okay, so the reason they put out a press release, they announced the COVID changes happened on whatever, Monday or Tuesday, I don't remember.
Well, the reversion of the COVID
The reversion
changes,
of them.
yes.
And then they did the Ultra Release 3, which we talked about. And then on Thursday, I have an issue with the Pokemon Go community. But I believe a bunch of really big Pokemon Go YouTubers, most of them, got together. They wrote a letter. It was very well written. I believe it was written by Zoe Two Dots. She's awesome. She's a friend of mine. And they used a hashtag. It got to like number 12 trending on Twitter. A bunch of other Pokemon Go people, tweeted it. Pokemon Go fans. And Niantic then released something. I think it was like 8:30 Central Time PM at night after the response. So I don't think it's like, well, they released it in the night so no one would read it. No, I just think it took them all day legally to get something approved, and that was the fastest they could release it. I don't think it was like, oh, let's release in the middle of the night so no one can read it. Like, I don't think that was the case. I will say, though, my complaint here is if you're going to complain about a video game that you like, maybe don't complain when nothing is happening in said video game. Like, I don't know who decided Thursday was the best day, but I think it's a little ironic that it was like the day after Dialga ends and the day before Palkia starts. Like, oh, we can't announce it on this day. We still got to finish our Dialga raids. Well, we have to do it before Palkia starts because I want to get shiny Palkia. Like, it's just like, I don't know. Maybe you should have like put your money where your mouth is and maybe do it the day that Palkia starts and like boycott Palkia. I don't know. It was a little funny and ironic to me that they did on a Thursday when literally nothing in the game was happening. That's just a side note. Anyways.
Okay, I was right. It says we've reverted the interaction distance from 80 meters to 40 meters.
I thought it was...
That's what it says in the press release.
Maybe I'm thinking feet. I don't know how meters and feet translate.
They are different.
It's about 3 feet per meter.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's what it
80
says.
Meters
This is off Niantic.
262 feet.
NianticLabs.com. What about millimeters? We appreciate your letter and all your feedback. We hear you. We are humbled by your response. Not every game has a passionate global base that we are fortunate enough to have.
Lie. You need to beat some other fan bases.
Like everyone around the world, our team has been working very hard to adapt to the global health environment. Recent exploration bonuses we've made in US and New Zealand are designed to restore some of the foundational elements that players enjoyed prior to 2020 and reward players once again for moving and exploring. Encouraging people to explore, exercise, and safely play together in person remains Niantic's mission. Okay, that's true. That they have like 3 pillars. If you go to like their thing, it's like exercise, getting together, and I think exploring. I think that are those are the 3 pillars of like all their games are based off those 3 things. Surprising, just in case people don't know, Niantic does make more than Pokemon Go. They make they make other video games. The health and well-being of our players is our top priority, which is why we implemented the new exploration bonuses in select geographies where it is deemed safe to be outdoors. Research has shown that taking walks outside is safe and confers several health benefits. Furthermore, encouraging outdoor exploration is in keeping with Niantic's mission. That said, we will continue to monitor the health and safety related to outdoor activities and will further make changes if necessary. We have heard your feedback about one change in particular, that of the Pokestop and gym interaction distance. We have reverted the distance from 80 meters to the original 40 meters starting in the US and New Zealand because we want to see people connect with real places in the real world and visiting those places that are worth exploring. However, we have heard your input loud and clear, and so to address your concerns you have raised, we are taking the following actions. We are assembling an internal cross-functional team to develop proposal designs to preserve our mission of inspiring people to explore the world together while also addressing specific concerns that have been raised regarding interaction distance. We will share the findings of this task force by the next game season change on September 1st. As part of this process, we will be reaching out to community leaders in the coming days to join us in this dialogue. Our goal is to build fun and engaging experiences to remain true to our mission, and we thank you for challenging us with thoughtful and constructive feedback, the Niantic team.
But what they're saying is we have multiple games in production, and we are going to bring together specialists or department heads from each of those other games to talk about a universal overarching policy that we'll put in place so that everybody matches up. It is different than getting feedback from, say, you. It is, we have to make sure internally that we make this change. Every game is on board, and we're all doing it the same way. And so it is a legal thing. It is we want to make sure that we are giving the same message so that Niantic as a company is able to say, here's the change we're making across board so that Harry Potter and Ingress and Pokemon Go and PKMN Go and Transformers and all the things that they make match. So they do need to bring everybody from each department internally together and say, here's what we're doing. Will this affect your game in any way? When something is this impacting on your brand, saying it's going to take us 3 weeks to make a decision is it's a very bad look for a company, especially since current companies are expected to pivot or die. You turn on a dime or you're left behind. And they are playing off the fact that they are a huge gorilla and there's not a lot of other things that sort of threaten them, really, to say, well, we'll just take our time and we'll get it to you when it meets our schedule. It is a kind of dismissive ploy to downplay urgency, to give them plenty of time to come up with a well-crafted statement, which you clearly are not capable of doing. So, I mean, I can see where, like, yeah, you all have been giving the feedback, but they also have to make an internal decision. What September 1st is like 1,000 years from now, and it speaks to, we're hoping that these other events will distract you enough that you'll have lessened your angst about it. So the decision that we finally make, it won't be so emotional. It won't have such emotional resonance because there's been a huge time frame for you to settle down a little.
I have
It did work for Dexit.
I have a different perspective than Greg. So my take on cross-functional team is they're going to have somebody from their financial group, somebody from their programming group, somebody from their marketing group, somebody from their customer relations group, which would be the people that are talking to you, Steve. They're going to get them all in a room together and say, what can we do? Now, I can see targeting it towards the September 1st season change because that is a massive code update. So they can get it into that cycle of when we're going to release an updated code and make that part of those changes rather than doing it as a one-off change that's then going to disrupt things down the line.
I would agree with that, but they state we will share the findings of this task force on September 1st. So if they want to try to implement anything, they're not even going to change anything until the next season, probably when they change the code again, which is just saying we're going to tell you what we're going to do when the game changes, and then we may implement something. Like, it is a very weak statement.
But I mean, the three key things that are going to be discussed are, one, how much money are we going to lose if we do this, versus how many of the customers that we care about are we going to lose if we do this, versus what is the risk of breaking the game if we make these changes for things that we expect to do down the line in the future. Those are the three things that they have to, and whichever is the most impactful is the one that's going to make the decision.
So two things. One, I guess I give them the benefit of the doubt because they have to go to the Pokemon Company. So if they put this on their website and not on Pokemon Go Live, even though this is literally talking to only Pokemon Go players, it just makes it seem like maybe the Pokemon company itself, who has to approve what they do, maybe they're being hard to work with. And maybe Niantic is telling themselves they need time to work with the Pokemon Company. And there's language barriers there. There's time zone differences. We've known in the last 5 years, anything they do has never been fast.
I work for a multinational company.
I know.
If it is incredibly important and customer impacting, it doesn't matter what time zone it is. You are forced to get up at a 3 a.m. call because you are a multinational company.
I agree.
You're high up. And so to say that, it's because they have to work multinationally is a cop-out that doesn't exist. It is something that people think, it's got to be hard and there's translation issues. Literally every large company that deals with working in the world has to do this. This is why going into languages is very important. It's why having people who can speak both languages is incredibly important. It's so that you can respond to market changes and switch. And it is a signal of their reluctance and reliance on people thinking, the Pokemon Company controls all these things, and it must be so hard to talk to them because I certainly don't speak Japanese. That is not true. If that is true for your company, you need to fix your company foundationally.
I don't think it's the language that is hard. I think it's just they're difficult to work with.
But even then, Pokemon Company also can't just be like, we'll just take our time. Like, these are things.
Yes, they can.
I mean, they can, but these are things that start to ruin their brand, right? Like,
yes.
These are things that begin to tick away on people's reliance of them. And it is a bad look to not be able to pivot. It is a bad look in the face of a global crisis to say it's going to take us weeks to figure something out. Because we don't have weeks, really. We are in a very bad situation right now. And in an exponentially growing thing, if you are giving off the message that these actions are fine, when they really aren't. And out of the other side of your mouth saying, we really care about your health and safety, they don't align.
Yes.
And your brand gets damaged. And people think, well, what are you bad at? Are you lying? Or are you just bad at being a company who cares
Literally,
about
like,
their customers?
2 days before GoFest, New Zealand had like a 24-hour lockdown because they had a case. So to be like, we care about your health, but in New Zealand it's fine. But it's like,
It's not.
New Zealand's not fine. They've had like 3 lockdowns in July, and luckily enough, they've been short lockdowns. But second thing is, I lost my train of thought for the second thing. But the first thing was, okay, so the part about like bringing new people in to evaluate and stuff, that bothered me. The thing that like doesn't bother me probably as much as other people is the distance itself. Like, if everything was fine, if I could book a trip to Japan next week, if I could buy tickets to, well, I guess technically I could buy tickets to PAX, but I have no interest in doing that. Greg canceled his Gen Con stuff. If things were normal, and I think we all want normal, I don't think people would be as upset, but I'm not even like upset about the distance. I gave that situation earlier about being inconvenienced, and like at the end of the day, it's really not that big of a deal because it's just a single Palkia raid. It's like, whatever. The thing that bothers me is just it's just the communication. It's just 5 years of them taking weeks or a month to change something. Or not telling us. Like, I can just think of so many situations where it's like, well, geez, why didn't you say this? Or why is it you turned Gibble shiny and it's been shiny for a week, but you didn't tell us? Like, again, I understand that you need approval from the Pokemon Company. I'm just going to assume that they're hard to work with. Maybe they don't know how to check email quickly. I don't know what's happening over there. I don't know if the Pokemon Company, I don't know if it's your fault and the Pokemon Company needs to be stricter. I don't know if the Pokemon Company is too strict and they need to like just trust you in making decisions. We know that partnership exists. And I get it in a business sense. Niantic's never going to throw the Pokemon Company under the bus, even though it could be them. The Pokemon Company is never going to throw Niantic under the bus, even though it could be them. My second point was, we don't know how much glue Pokemon Go is held together with. Like, and a really good example is there was a balance update in Unite. They fixed the amount of damage that Sludge Bomb Hex did. And then after that update, we found out that Hex ended up being broken. They quickly fixed Hex. Like, it took them, 3-4 days to fix Hex. Now all of a sudden, Garchomp is broken. And Garchomp is like unplayable in Unite. So I get it. Maybe your game is so broken on the back end that you do need 3 weeks to figure this all out. Maybe. Who knows? I am so frustrated with Niantic. I want to give them the benefit of the doubt that, again, to me, it's not even the distance. I just want them to, like, if it takes you 3 weeks to come up with a better way to communicate to us, a more efficient way to communicate to us, and going forward, you're like, this is our new initiative of how we talk to people, how we get messages out there. The Pokemon Company or whatever has approved that this is how we can communicate going forward. That is what I want. I want them to just figure their stuff out, and then like, it's almost like we're going to couples therapy with Niantic. Like, you have issues and we have issues, and it's going to take time, but we're gonna set aside every bad experience here. We're gonna start fresh on September 1st, and we're gonna save this marriage, the marriage of my wallet to you to get slightly different color Pokemon. Like, I am optimistic about that. And if it takes 3 weeks for us to get to there, cool. What I don't actually think, and I tweeted this, would it be nice and would it solve problems now to flip that switch? Yes. But I don't think that is the actual issue. Like, every single year after GoFest, we always come out of GoFest being like, GoFest was incredible, and then there's this huge issue we focus on. It's been 5 years of this. And so, yeah, them flipping the switch, it just gives into all the people complaining, and they're valid complaints. But what then stops those people from doing that the next month? What's our next issue that we're all going to band together and complain? What's our next issue that we're going to do? I think there is some balance of like, well, we can't completely get in, but also we've been messing up for 5 years. I don't know what that looks like. But I think that the issue isn't necessarily the distance, although that is an issue. The actual issue is their communication.
So,
I mean,
people at the Harvard Business School, call them up, tell them they need to do a white paper. Nobody can say no to the Harvard Business School.
Yeah.
Tell them they had to do a white paper on Niantic, then we will get our answers.
The only thing I take umbrage with your example is if your community, your customer base, comes together and says, this is an issue in your game and it is stopping us from playing, the way you present that is like, well, the company should just ignore them. That is not a good situation. Like, if there was a universal thing where people actually said, this is making things unsafe in this game, and then we got that fixed, and then they said, okay, now this next thing is also something that's unsafe in your game, or it's making it difficult to play your game. Like, that is all feedback from your actual customer base. These are the people that use your product, and you should perhaps listen to them. And if it is not possible, or there's a valid reason why you're not going to do it, communicate that back. But you saying, then what's the next thing they're going to have to be fixed? We're the people playing your game. Like, we're the ones that are giving you feedback about this product. If all of Milwaukee went down and all of Milwaukee said we can't use our cell phones, I'm not going to say AT&T don't fix Milwaukee, because then what are we going to have to fix next? Let Milwaukee die without any telecommunications.
I mean, it's just Milwaukee.
It's just Milwaukee.
This is Milwaukee.
It's just this core group of people who pay us lots of money, who actually are helping us spread the word of this game and giving us free advertising. Let them rot on the vine because our principles are more important. That is not a good look for any company.
I don't think
to
it's
say,
our principles are more important. I think that's the bait and switch. What it is we're not going to actually lose any money if we don't change anything.
The only thing that I would say is they made so much money during a pandemic with these things in place. It seems inconceivable that you would decide to jeopardize that by actively angering your customer base.
Yeah, again, I just think that, like, if everything was perfect and they did this, it wouldn't have been that big of a deal. But they shouldn't have gotten to the point. They shouldn't have gotten to the point where they just let this flip. They let this switch flip, because again, like you said, Greg, they start off saying we care about your health and safety, and we want players to play safely. I get it. Like, if we could not worry about wearing masks and not worry about sanitize. Well, you should probably always be washing your hands.
I mean, you're the person that just said you're not washing your hands to eat Oreos, so don't even come at me with you.
Like, if everything was perfect and I could travel to France right now, I don't think it would have been that big of a deal. But because things have gotten worse since the 4th of July, you can't say you're monitoring the situation and then just leave it. So again, I'm frustrated. I hope in 3 weeks.
The distance change doesn't negate the things that you say you're there for. That's the other part that's super wild about their statement. Like, you haven't proven that dropping it from 80 meters to 40 meters does anything that you have stated that it does. It just made it safer in a lot of cases. And to drop it doesn't... You have not ever stated what the benefits are, other than we think you would meet more people that way.
The benefits are that more people pay for remote raid passes and they get money.
I mean, that's
But,
sort of the
like,
negative view.
And I don't even remember if we said this on this program. I've talked about this on Twitch. But like the other issue is they seem to punish all of us instead of rewarding. They have a very set way of playing their game. And I respect that. And I've said this on the show before. Their game is about going outside and walking. And that is a unique thing to their game, and it's a thing that makes their game fun. It's a thing I personally enjoy. If you're in a wheelchair, if you're bedridden, if you're on crutches, obviously you can't do the walking part. I get that. You also probably can't play Dance Dance Revolution or all these other games. I get that.
Just to add on that, if you're mobility impaired, I suspect very few mobility impaired people started playing last year because of these changes. Right?
They started playing because it was easier for them to play.
I don't think that happened.
I think that did happen.
I want to see the numbers on that.
I think more people started playing at home because they did make it easier to play at home.
Mm-hmm.
That's why their numbers were so high, because it's like, oh, I can't leave my house, but I can reach a Pokestop, or there's really good spawns here, or an incense actually works for the first time. What was I saying? Okay, yeah. So I have a respect for games that stick to what they want their game to be. Niantic has been very clear they want their game to be go outside and walk. And that's why I like Go. I've said before, I don't like sitting in a car driving to stop. That's not fun to me. Obviously, you could play that way. Not the way I like to play it. And when I am at home, I always just think to myself, there's better games I can play on my couch that isn't Go. Like, I sincerely think Go is kind of a bad game when you're sitting at home and playing. That being said, there are people who like to sit at home and play Go. I just think there are better games. I would just rather play Sword and Shield or Apex Legends or Pokemon Unite or Pokemon Snap, or like literally any game that doesn't involve me walking outside I can play at home. That's my rant. But if Pokemon Go is your favorite game and you love playing on the couch, more power to you. That being said, we're all getting punished because Niantic doesn't like people playing on the couch, which is fine. They made a game. They want people to play the game the way. But instead of punishing everyone, give me more rewards for playing the game how you want me to play it. And the biggest thing I can think of is your game is about walking. I like to walk. I've been streaming a lot of Go on Twitch. Let me tell you, we're walking like 12 miles a day when we're doing that. And it's awesome. Like, I feel good after it. I'm covered in sweat. It's a great time. Sometimes you got to work off some calories, Greg.
No, that's the whole concept of you covered in sweat. That's just gross. You are not a sweat person.
Why is it that if I walk 50 kilometers in a week, which is their top reward, I get like nothing for it? I get like one 10K egg if I have the room to hold the 10K egg. I get some Stardust, which like doesn't even matter when it comes to like a Stardust event. I get like 40 Pokeballs. Okay, look, I'm walking 50 kilometers this week. Pokeballs ain't my problem. Like, reward us for playing your game the way you want us to play it. If I'm walking 50 kilometers, give me something good. Like, give the people on a couch a reason to be jealous of the people walking. Like, why are your rewards so bad for the people who are out there in the sun sweating, the people who are seeing new stops, the people who are putting in the like, it's all bad. Like, reward your players that are not on the couch instead of punishing everyone.
Here's the problem. The people who are walking, the walkie players, are also the people who are willing to put money into the game. The couch players are not willing to put money into the game.
I think the couch players are willing to put money, though. They're the ones that are.
See it. Nah.
They're the ones that are doing incense and not leaving their house. Like, think of how many people in the last year of this pandemic did not go out for Go Fest. Did not go out for community days, not because it wasn't safe in their area. It has been pretty safe to go outside at a park and play versus, going inside. But think of how many people just didn't leave their house for community day because they could just pop an incense, catch 3 shinies in an hour, and then not have to go anywhere.
I don't know what those numbers are. I want to see the calculations. I want to see the graphs, the charts.
Like, make incense better for people walking. Make the 25K a week, the 50K a week, introduce 100K a week. Like, make all of these rewards better. Because if somebody wants to sit at home and get 0 or 3K because they're sitting at home but they're playing your game, why do I feel like me playing your game properly, I'm doing air quotes for the audio version, why do I feel like I'm still not getting like anything for playing your game right? Like, hey, Niantic, I don't care that you changed it from 80 to 40. I'm out here, but also, if this is how we're playing, why am I still feel like I'm getting punished when I'm playing it the way you want me to play it?
You're getting the pleasure of being outdoors and enjoying your environment.
And I like that Go takes me outside. I really do. But the game I don't know. I'm shrugging my shoulders. I like this game a lot. I really do. It's like probably top 3 all-time Pokemon games for me. I've been playing it for 5 years. I love it. I would like to play it for another 5 years.
Oh, you will. You will.
But I personally have a problem with, okay, if you want us to play the game the way you want us to play it, why do we just feel like we're still getting punished, even though we're because some people want to play on the couch? Who cares? Let them play on the couch. If they want to spend $250 every 2 hours to do 3 remote raids, let them spend the money. But I'm out here sweating. I'm out here walking. I'm out here connecting with people. I'm out here spinning your stops. I'm out here visiting Starbucks, which is your sponsor, Jim. And I'm getting 1 purple egg a week. And that's all I'm getting for it. Jeez. Come on, Niantic. What do you want from me? How much more can I do to play your game the way you want me to play it and feel like I'm still getting screwed at the end of the day? I don't know. It sucks. And to all the people that are like, well, stop playing. That doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is money. Okay, don't give Niantic money. I don't. I've given them $100 once this year, and I've already spent that money. So, or not spent that money, but it's already converted to coins. So I can't. I'm not giving them money. I hope that September 1st has something good. All right. Dang, this show is too long. Mm-hmm. Let's take a break. I want to talk like 10 minutes Unite, question of the week, Pokemon of the week.
Ooh. Ba, 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 ba. Ooh. Ba, 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 ba. Ooh.
We are back. We're going to talk about some Unite. I will say that 2 things. Classic, our new podcast. 2 things. Number 1 is that we had a Unite bonus episode on our premium feed. So if you head over to our Patreon page, if you want 2 bonus episodes a month, and you want ad-free episodes of ISE, you can head over to patreon.com/PKMNcast. And for $5 a month, you get ad-free. You get 2 bonus episodes where you can listen to our new Unite episode that we did 45 minutes on. And then you get to join our Slack community and support the show. And we're almost, I think, up to 500 patrons. So, geez, thank you guys so much. This is like the highest amount of patrons we've ever had. And there hasn't been a good Pokemon game in a while. Minus, Snap and Unite. And look, Sword and Shield's pretty old now. So I just appreciate everyone who has signed up for our Patreon. With that being said, we are running a special promotion on our Patreon where we're doing a little gift package for anyone at the $25 or higher level. So if you sign up before August 18th, you'll get a exclusive shirt and some other goodies in a package. I'm getting those shirts printed locally, and I'll be packing them. So it'll probably be the death of me because mailing stuff is time consuming. But I want to really make these like little packages to you guys like feel special. Shirts are normally like $20. It's like free shipping. So it's kind of like a wash for me. Like it's not really a profit, but if you want to get one of these shirts, it's to anyone at the $25 level. The reason I'm ending it at August 18th is because then I need to get all the sizes, and then we need to send it to pressing, so I get the exact amount of shirts, and then once they arrive to me, I'll start packing them. So that's patreon.com/PKMNcast. And if you sign up, you can get the shirt, and you can get bonus episodes. And let's just spend a little time on Unite, and then we'll do question of the week. I know the show's already longer than it should be, but I thought the Niantic thing was pretty important. So we're like going into week 3 of Unite. I think Will's given up on it.
No, I play it every day. What do you mean? Just because I don't play ranked doesn't mean I don't play Unite.
Are you still having a good time non-ranked?
Yeah, I love to get in there with my Snorlax.
Did you buy the floaty?
I have not given that game a cent.
Oh, yeah, you haven't even done Battle Pass, right?
Correct.
Greg is very into Unite, which is the shocking reveal.
Why is this shocking? You keep saying it's shocking. Why is this shocking? What?
Because
I need you to explain
I like
to
Unite,
my face.
which means you have to hate Unite. We don't
No.
like
Greg, we just expect you to be a responsible adult, not a MOBA player.
I am a responsible adult. Look. There's
If
nothing
there's anything
happening.
the show has proven, Greg, we never see eye to eye.
Well, that's because you're always wrong. My like of Unite has nothing to do with you dragging me down when you're like, carry me, and I try, and you are such hot garbage, we lose.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Oh my gosh.
I don't see you at all in any of our games until the last 2 minutes.
And it's
What
not
are
me
you doing?
losing. I believe so I know you don't get MVP a lot because you're a healer. But almost every game we've played together, Greg, I am almost always MVP. And I'm not being sarcastic.
Twice. I don't get MVP except for my amazing MVP last night, which is the crowning Unite achievement of my life.
Look, we're not here to brag about who's getting MVP and who's not.
Can we brag about how I'm a much higher level than you?
Yeah, you also probably have like 200 more games than I do. How many games do you think you're up to?
You do it for a living. I can look because I just had to put it on the
Yeah,
spreadsheet.
no, like everyone always says this. You play Pokemon for a living. You play Pokemon for a living. These people in my Twitch channel, they have like 300 more games than I do because they don't have to like consistently edit or market themselves. They just play video games.
I
barely get to play
have
anything.
a full-time job and a part-time job.
Yeah, but you have
promoting
no
an RPG that I
responsibility
wrote.
out of that. How many games you got?
What I have in the spreadsheet is I have played...
Spreadsheet?
Look, you guys have all time spreadsheet.
180?
Spreadsheet? What are you
There's-
using a spreadsheet
There is
for?
no way you have 180 games. I had 190 games like 5 days ago.
Ooh, maybe I entered it in wrong. Do you want me to go down and get my thing?
No, we don't have time for this.
I mean, it's just downstairs.
Okay, you go get it.
What
All
are
right,
you,
I'll be
what
right
are you
back.
tracking in the spreadsheet?
I'll talk
Oh,
about
it's a whole
updates. I'll talk
thing.
about updates. All right, so they did their first balance update, which I was wrong about. I didn't think we'd get a balance update for like a month. It's been 2 weeks, but they did a balance update. I made a little graphic for it, but they took Pokemon that weren't really being used, like Talonflame, and they bumped them up. Charizard, they bumped them up. They left a lot of Pokemon alone, like Ninetales and Pikachu. They like kind of nerfed Cramorant, but like I've talked to a lot of Cramorant players, including myself. It just doesn't feel any different. When you say like nerf, maybe we should explain this. When something gets nerfed, it usually means like a stat goes down. So in
Like
the example
does less damage, moves less quickly. Yes.
So for like Cramorant, Whirlpool, which is it's a move you only get until level 6, and then you stop using it. It did like 4,700 damage, and then they changed it to 4,300 damage. And honestly, it's like it's not even noticeable. And then they took some Pokemon, and they did. So like they took Pokemon that were controversial, like Gengar, and I guess this maybe just shows that people don't understand fully what's going on. But when you look at the little thing I make, Gengar has 2 up arrows and 1 down arrow. Up arrows meaning buff, down arrow meaning nerf. And they took the move that everyone hated, Hex, and they made Hex do less damage, which is everyone wanted. But then it made sense that they buffed the move Shadow Ball because no one used Shadow Ball. So you want the tool set on your Pokemon to be viable whichever way they go. Like if you nerf Hex, but you don't do anything to Shadow Ball, people are still not going to use Shadow Ball, right? You want both paths to be good, and they did that with Cramorant, right? Like no one was really using Dive on Cramorant, so they made Dive a little bit stronger. Zeraora, they only nerfed Zeraora's Unite move, which I would say was the problem with Zeraora, not really Discharge. Discharge is like, yeah, it's its main move, but you can see it. You can walk away from it. I mean, Zeraora is meant to be a very close-up character, so if you keep your distance or you wait till Discharge is used, you can then go in and get Zeraora. But yeah, they nerfed its Unite move, which, yeah, its Unite move was very good. And then with Gossifleur, they nerfed the shields. I think it was the shields, right? But they buffed the ones that people weren't using.
Yeah,
which I don't know if you've tried those since, Greg.
No, I still don't use them. I have seen the things like, well, everybody uses Eldegoss, and I'm like, the reason why everybody uses Eldegoss is literally the only character that does direct healing.
Right.
So it's really hard to say that Eldegoss was out of balance healing-wise when nobody else heals. The biggest change is shields used to be on, I think it was a 5 seconds cooldown, and it's on a 9 second cooldown. So it's harder to recover in emergency situations. But I still don't think the other two things have been buffed enough to be worth it. Like Cotton Spore requires you to be pretty close to things, and
I think that was like a 5 second to a 4 second. That was like the buff.
It's just not ideal. Like the minute they see Eldegoss, they go straight for Eldegoss because they need to kill the healing. And my official games is 283.
283?
Yeah.
Gee, I just checked. I was at 182. You have 100 more battles than me? Holy cow. That's a lot of battles, Greg.
What? I play the game.
No, it's so weird that I had this disconnect that you weren't a competitive person, and then I like erased all the Clash Royale out of my mind where you like.
Well, okay. You pull that from board games in which I don't like being competitive with some of the people you play board games with.
And you don't care anything about like competitive and like Sword and Shield.
No. That really stresses me out. Also because I have issues with how the meta is designed. Like I really have like struggling finding connections to Pokemon that are good in metas. So it's hard for me to want to run teams of Pokemon that I don't feel a connection to.
I feel that.
So like there are different reasons, but yeah, like I am a very competitive person, which is, I also need to keep that in check just so that I don't become the person that I hate. But Unite has as a supporter role, I still get frustrated, but like Unite helps me feel like I'm a part of a team in ways that other competitions don't. And that helps me feel like I'm trying to support and go with things as a team. And the sort of flip-floppy nature of MOBAs is just you lose a lot, right? Like you're just gonna run up to people who just are better all the time. And I found Pokemon of the limited roster that I feel connected to, that I enjoy playing, and the fact that I can quick jump in and play for 10 minutes and then finish my lunch with a 10-minute match and then go back to work is fun for me. It's just fun to do, and I don't feel Unite is so hyper competitive toxic that I feel that toxicity while playing the game.
Yeah, I mean, you're always gonna just run into teams that are better than you, and that's fine. And whether they pay it or not probably doesn't matter because they're gonna be better than you regardless.
Yeah.
Or get randomly placed on a team of people who do absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
I still. We were joking about MVP earlier, but I would still prefer to be the worst on the team. Because I know what it feels like to be the worst, right?
Yeah.
Like, and I think with Unite, or any other competitive game, like you see, like you'll see somebody like, oh, they scored no points, or they didn't get any really kill, and like knocking out / killing, whatever you want to call it, like it doesn't actually matter in this game. Like it's not like you getting 13 knockouts.
Look, hallelujah, say it again. The game is not about killing your opponents. It's about scoring points.
Right.
Fundamental.
Yeah. So it like you can brag that you got 20 kills, but like
if you didn't score the points. Like I think that's also why I enjoy playing Eldegoss is my job isn't to score, really. It is to help create opportunities where others can score. And I will say, when I see somebody who is supposed to be playing an attacker has 0, I'm like, what were you doing?
Yeah.
At all?
Well,
like, what did
say,
you do?
I should say killing doesn't completely matter. It doesn't matter in the scoring instance, but
Right.
obviously if you knock somebody out for 30 seconds, that can be huge. But,
Yeah, it is making those openings.
But what I was saying is like, I think even in a like expert or veteran or something, when you see you were last the team, I think it flashes across your mind of like, oh, I'm the weak link. Is this why we lost? Especially if you lose. Like if you lost and if you were the person with no points on the team or the lowest score, you think like, oh, that is my fault. And I would rather be in that position so other people don't feel awful. Like, how can I get everyone up where like, okay, we lost, but it's Steve's fault, which is like fine. So I think
I think that's something you need to talk to somebody about, because
I think we've been pretty successful on Twitch, and Greg and I have been playing on Twitch together, and we've lost and we've won. And it's like trying not to be toxic or put the blame, but when the match is over, I do try to explain like, okay, what went wrong in that match?
Right.
Like, and what can we do better? And it's not like, well,
That
we did wrong because Greg moved here at 4 minutes and he should have been here. And it's like, it's not a blame game. It's
right.
like,
I mean, I think the one that
we
went
messed
wrong,
up,
the one that I
and-
was screaming at the TV was when you all start. There's only two of you alive, and you're attacking Zapdos. And I'm like, stop! No, please stop doing that.
yeah. And that was probably the most frustrating part. And
But that just comes with experience.
right. Because you think like, so in the situation, we were winning the entire game and it kept saying, you have a huge lead. You have a huge lead. And we all went to Zapdos, and we hid in the bush. Like 3 of us hid in the bush. It was great. And the team came over, and I used my ult. Somebody else used their ult, and we wiped the team. But it was...
They also took a bunch of us out.
They took out 3 of you. So
Yeah.
it was me and another person, and they started attacking Zapdos, and I'm like, do we attack it? Do we not? And I didn't attack Zapdos because I was pretty weak. And because that person did more than half damage, all 5 of them came in. They wiped us 2. So now it was 5 versus 3 because we should have just been hiding in the bush. And I was hiding in the bush. I was just like going back and forth, like peeking to see if they were coming. And then because they took out half of Zapdos' health, it made it very easy for the team to then finish off Zapdos versus because that team has to like, and this is the thing we have to think about, and why I'm explaining it is because I hope it helps our listeners. When you're winning so much, they have to attack Zapdos. And if they can't attack Zapdos without attacking you, they're wasting time and resources on you. So the thing about Zapdos as well that you just have to think of is Zapdos does a lot of damage to you as well. Like it does, like as a Cramorant, I cannot solo Zapdos. As a Zeraora, I could, but Zeraora is coming out of that less than 50% HP.
And really, Zapdos at full health at 30 seconds left in the game, Zapdos is no longer a
It's a
picture.
waste of time.
You can't take it out and score Zapdos at full health and then get to the other goals.
Right.
Like,
But
it's
even-
effectively done.
Yeah, if you have 50, sorry, Gwill, if you have 50 points and there's 10 seconds, you cannot score. You need like 12 seconds to score 50 points, unless it's like the instant score. But the bar takes too much.
Key Zapdos, key Dreadnought strat. Only the last hit counts. Let somebody else take the health down. You swoop in, get that last hit from them, steal it from them.
I mean, the other thing I didn't realize until like I've been playing it a lot now and watching people play is just how much everybody needs to go fight Dreadnought. Like everybody abandon top lane because the amount of experience and levels you get if your team finishes Dreadnought turns the game. And if you can get Dreadnought twice in a game, you are effectively unstoppable. And it doesn't matter if they got one goal up top. If one person scored 40 points, the fact that your team got Dreadnought is the most important part of that game. It every time Dreadnought appears, it's like, everybody leave. Go to Dreadnought because it's so important to get this boss.
I would put an asterisk there with everyone needs to go Dreadnought. If you're on top and... If you're on top, I would say almost one person should always go because there should be 2 up there. If their 2 are staying, it's worth it for one to stay up there just to waste those 2 time. Because then it will be 4 versus 3.
Yeah.
Versus 5 versus 3. You're going to win that anyways, but you're going to give them so much to do up there. And you have to think about this in the game of what there is to do. If they're taking the bees... You're not. If they're taking the core fish, you're not. But if you're up there distracting them, you're still doing something and you're still being important to the team. So I do think Dreadnought is very important because of the level, not necessarily because of the shield. So you just attacking a Pokemon once, when that Pokemon is defeated, you'll get the experience as long as you get a single hit on it. But yeah, if they score a little bit in return for the amount, experience wins the game.
Experience wins the game.
I think a lot of people. I think when the first game first came out, us included, we're like Zapdos wins the game. That's not true.
No,
it's like and it's funny because a lot of YouTubers, a lot of content creators, a lot of people on Twitter, they talked about how Dreadnought was a waste. Like go back 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
no one cared about Dreadnought.
Yeah, Dreadnought is like
the conversation was the conversation was so focused on Zapdos, which is ironic that they spent so much time making these mechanics and it only took a little bit for the meta to start forming. But if you're a level 9 Ninetales and I'm a level 7 Cramorant, I lose purely based on level. If you're a level 12 Zeraora and I'm a level 10 Absol, you win. That's just what it is.
Yep.
And so the reason why Dreadnought is so important is because everyone who touches it gets that huge experience. You almost go up a full level if you were just fresh. So rotating down to Dreadnought is very important. And like I said, should everyone rotate? Yeah, but if they're not rotating... if they're not rotating up there, it's nice to leave a Snorlax up there or a Ninetales up there just to like waste their time. And again,
if they haven't dropped, then read the situation. If it's a 1-on-1, just go. If it's a 1-on-2 and you can waste their time, go. But if you see everybody has gone and you're the only person up there, get your butt down to Dreadnought.
Yeah, I mean, if you're the only person up there, and I've had it successful where like I'm the only one up there, because I was either late or I didn't have health, so me going down there I would have died anyways. You can still clear everything up there, so by the time they get back up, they got nothing to work on, which is there's still value there, but that's where the communication comes in of like, hey, I can't join you because I got like 25% health. And by the time I get there, like there's like 4 Zeraora down there.
Also, if you use your ultimate wrong, just kill something for 2 points and score, because every score, no matter how small, increases your reset 10%. So just if you like, oop, I need my ultimate faster, just kill something quick and scoot over. You can probably get a 2 score in, and you still get that 10% boost on your ultimate coming back every time you score, and you get 4% for killing wild, I think. So like, it is useful to make small scores if your ultimate is vital or going to be super helpful in one of the 2 boss fights. Like there's like these little tiny things that you can do to improve your game, and like, yeah, a 2 score isn't going to move the points, but it's going to get you back to things that you need should you have made a mistake earlier or used it wisely and you just know you're going to need it again. Like zip over, hit a 2-point and get out, because a 2-point is almost instantaneous, and you can kill something small pretty quick and get in there and do it. Mm-hmm. It's just ways to sort of like use, like as we are beginning to learn these mechanics to like be better at the game, there's these little things that are very helpful.
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to do with like the graphics and the like, Twitch stuff is just, you know, help people, because once you understand and enjoy what you're playing, it makes the game easier and makes the game less frustrating, instead of like somebody in my like Twitch chat that was just like, oh, I just go anywhere and we seem to win. And it's like,
yeah.
Nah.
Although it violates,
can pay that way.
Right, I have 3 rules of what makes a video game that I enjoy. I have some rules of what makes a video game that I won't enjoy, and having to do homework for the video game is on that list of things I do not enjoy.
Yeah, and I think for the most part in Unite, you don't have to do homework if you
baloney. I've got to go to your Instagram and see all the builds and catch up on this got buffed and this got nerfed and blah, blah, blah.
No, I think like if you just want to play, you know, Ninetales, as long as you know that, you know, Ninetales usually goes bottom, can go top.
Homework, because that's not in the game.
But the game tells
you should go to the bottom. It does tell you. Absolutely says suggested and recommended.
Okay.
In your battle prep, it does tell you these things.
Like I made a speedster graphic. I was like, here are the 4 speedsters. Here is the difference between the speedsters, and then here if speedsters are recommended for jungle, the center. And I was like, here's the order for jungle if you care to do that. You gotta go Lillipup, Ludicolo, Bouffalant, Corphish. But if you have zero desire to play any of the speedsters or Cinderace or Lucario, or you just don't like jungle, you can ignore that whole graphic.
Or you want to be Jungle Crystal. Jungle Crystal is a valid build.
Stop putting those thoughts into people's heads.
Don't ever Jungle Crystal.
Jungle Cram.
Look, if you want to run Zeraora on the top lane, you can.
Mm-hmm.
I am sure there is some Japanese player out there who takes Eldegoss into the jungle and dominates.
Oh, I haven't done Jungle Goss.
I don't know what that looks like. You probably shouldn't do that, but I am sure there is, like, you can make any role work anywhere if you are good enough. That being said, most of y'all ain't good enough to do that,
right.
Myself included. And it's like, and I think there's just like this misunderstanding of, and this is why I put the abilities on the jungle guide. Is like, I had some people being like, well, you forgot Cinderace. No, I didn't forget Cinderace. This is a speedster guide. These are the 4 speedsters. Yes, you can take Cinderace in the jungle. Why is Cinderace good in the jungle? Well, that would be a whole separate graphic. I can tell you why, but I only got so much room on a graphic. People have short attention spans. I'm focusing on two things. Speedsters, the order you attack them in. But why speedsters are called speedsters is look at their abilities. Like, Talonflame gets a huge boost when it has full HP because of Gale Wings. Gengar, when not in battle, moves super quickly. The whole point of the jungle is to flex between top and bottom. Can Cinderace do this? Yes, but it's not nearly as fast as the Pokemon we've lit. Well, Zeraora is not fast. It gets like an attack boost or whatever. And that's fine to use Cinderace or Lucario or Garchomp in the jungle. But for people who are new, knowing why the speedsters are speedsters, I feel, is an important thing to communicate. Like
Homework.
And if you're looking at that graphic and you're like, I know all this, why didn't you include Cinderace? It's like, graphic wasn't meant for you, buddy.
Right. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
All right, we've used up our 10 minutes of Unite.
Question of the week.
Do you want the question of the week? Because it's that time again.
There wasn't a third verse there?
I mean, there could be. Like, I have like 5 verses, but I'm, look, it's already very long.
All right, this is from Kevin. Name an actor you'd like to voice a Pokemon or maybe trainer in the live action Netflix series, full dialogue like Ryan Reynolds.
I don't care for actors.
Michael Cera.
No,
yeah.
out. Banned. Get out.
I want to see Omar Sy do Clefable.
I don't know who Omar Sy is. But
What's that? One girl from not The Office, Parks and Rec, I think. She was like
Audrey Plaza?
No, she was the darker skinned girl, but I think she was a show writer, but also an actor.
I know who you're
who
talking
played-
about.
I think her name was Mina in the show. No.
She had her own show.
Yeah, she had her own show after Parks and Rec. She's like
Yeah.
really funny. I don't know. I think she'd
She's
be
like
cool.
South Asian.
Yeah.
Oh, dag nabbit.
Who did she play? Was she the nurse? Was she Anne?
No, she was like the secretary. I don't remember Parks and Rec at all that well.
Hold on.
She had her own show afterwards, though.
Are you talking about the actress that played Donna?
No. Maybe. No. We're confusing like 8 different women all.
I'm just trying to figure out what character you're talking about because I've watched a lot of Parks and Rec.
I think Steve thinks she was on Parks and Rec, but she wasn't.
Okay.
Oh.
That would help.
She was on The Office.
Oh, was it The Office?
Yes.
I almost said The Office, and then I switched to Parks and Rec.
Are you
Exactly.
talking about Mindy Kaling?
Mindy.
Gee, Minnie.
I said
Park and Rec.
Yeah, Mindy Kaling. What did I say her name was? Mina?
Mina.
That was kind of close. I got
It was
3
close,
letters
it was
right.
good for you, I guess.
Yeah, she seems cool. I don't know.
She is, yeah.
Maybe there's some drama, but she seems all right. I could see her being like a Wigglytuff or something. She's very sassy. I remember her being very sassy on The Office.
Edward James Olmos
Oh, there we go.
as Jigglypuff.
It's always Jigglypuff. It's never Clefable.
I said Clefable. What do you say is never Clefable? The first thing I did was Clefable. You are the worst. You don't listen
All right.
to this.
Second question of the week. This is off our YouTube. If you are watching on YouTube, you want to ask a question, there'll be a question of the week thread pinned. You can ask a question there. We're getting to it. This one is from Clue Crutch. I don't know how to say that. It'll say it at the top if you're watching the video. Feel free to ask your question of the week, though, in the YouTube comments. Is Pokemon Unite going to stay alive longer than 3 weeks?
Yes, 100%. People love
is
this
it
game.
gonna...
People love MOBAs. People love Pokemon. It is the perfect mix.
Let me change their question. Do you think we're all going to be playing this when like Diamond Pearl comes out? 3 months?
So that really depends on how quickly they add things to the game, like new characters, new maps. If it is the exact same game by the middle of November, probably not. I will probably put in I'm going to do my dailies today because I still really enjoy the game. But the amount of time that I'm putting into it now, if things haven't changed or there's not new characters to try or new maps to play on, I probably won't be as invested in it in 4 months as I am now.
So the cycle that I've seen for a lot of people who I would say are like dedicated MOBA players, MOBA is one of their prime types of game that they enjoy playing. It's kind of like a 3 weeks on, 3 weeks off cycle, where there will be updates, new Pokemon will be released, something like that. They get into it, they play hardcore for 3 weeks, and then they've kind of played out that scenario. They take 3 weeks off, they wait until the next set of updates, they pop back in, and it becomes very cyclical in how they play.
I think the thing you see on Twitch is you saw all the Dota players, all the League of Legends players, of course they're going to try any new MOBA. They're addicted. So you see all these really good other MOBA players play Unite. We saw this with Pokken Tournament too. Mm-hmm. All the Mortal Kombat people, the Dead or Alive people, the Tekken people, they came over because they always try the newest fighting game. And they go, yeah, this is fine, but the reason they're addicted to League is because it's League. League is a more complicated game. Dota is a more complicated game. So I don't they had fun with Unite, and then they moved back, and their audiences followed them there, and they played it for a day or two. But we're going to, I would assume, in the next 3 weeks, 3 months, whatever, is the people who are really good at Unite will stay really good, and they will grow their audiences, and the game won't be as big as it was, the weekend it launched, but that's just because so many people tried it and decided that, they like League better, or they like Dota better, or they like Overwatch better, or whatever. And the people who like Pokemon, and the people who like this simpler version of a MOBA, they'll stick with it. The goal is, can you get people on the fence to continue playing it by helping them understand the game easier so they do enjoy it? So then they can get their friends and family into it as well. And I think that's the biggest hurdle, is not people leaving, but getting more people into play. And hopefully, I think characters do that, right? If somebody's favorite Pokemon is Hitmonchan, and they add Hitmonchan, I feel like that's the opportunity there where they go, well, now I got to try the game. So they do have the advantage of adding Pokemon that people care about to play said game. So yeah, what Greg said, if they keep adding characters, I don't think it's going to die anytime soon. Pokemon of the week.
So last week's Pokemon was a lot of blah, 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 Unite stuff. I mentioned the PKMNcast Instagram, trying to drive some traffic to that, kind of flagging, not needs more followers.
Homework.
Instagram account. Homework. Said that the best build for this Pokemon is Focus Band, Muscle Band, and Buddy Barrier. I'm a big fan of Buddy Barrier.
I like Buddy Barrier a lot.
Which is not an item that's found in other games. Some people say this Pokemon's based on a cat, but it's more likely based on a hibernating bear. And then I described what Buddy Barrier does, and also the fact that you can no longer get Toxic onto this Pokemon in Galar. Only in previous iterations of the Pokemon games can this Pokemon have Toxic.
It's Munchlax.
Is not in Unite.
It's Snorlax.
Yes.
Well, I knew the answer. I just had to say it wrong. Did we do Snorlax as Pokemon of the week?
Look.
Look, yeah, exactly.
We keep things
I'm
relevant
running
to
out.
the times.
I'm running out.
I have
There's
been doing
800
this for
Pokemon.
9 years, 10 years now.
Will is on the same release schedule as Pokemon Go is for Pokemon. It will never be Kecleon.
Never be Kecleon.
I've done Kecleon.
We'll never get Larvesta.
I did Larvesta.
No, I'm saying and go.
Shiny is good. Shuffle is outstanding. Magikarp Jump icon is also very good.
Magikarp jump icon.
Yeah.
Oh, it is very good in Magikarp
Yeah.
jump.
Why would I lie to you?
Some trivia in Pokemon Stadium Series and later 3D games, Snorlax will open their eyes when they faint. In Pokemon Snap, Snorlax will stand. This is not trivia. Pokemon Snorlax stands up and dances when the music flute is used. Yeah, sure. In Heart Gold, Soul Silver, people like that video game. If the player interacts with Snorlax that is walking with them at Mount Silver, the message "Snorlax is very eager" will appear. This is due to Red, who is also at Mount Silver, owning a Snorlax as well. While the player is on Mount Silver, unique messages will also appear if the Snorlax is if the player is walking with a Pikachu or a Charizard. I didn't actually know that. In Pokemon Gold and Silver, Snorlax is programmed to learn Charm through breeding, but no other Pokemon in the monster group can legitimately learn it. Really great coding back in the day.
Good old Gold and Silver.
To pass down as an egg move in Generation 3
Where
and
everything got
on,
fixed.
Snorlax can inherit the move from Bulbasaur by chain breeding. Snorlax is the only evolutionary family to have all of its members appear from a Pokeball within a single Smash Bros. Game. What kind of garbage trivia is that?
Look,
Yep.
you get thanks Bulbapedia used to be an actual Twitter account.
In Pokemon Gold and Silver, Snorlax is the only Pokemon to receive a plus 40 catch rate modifier when Heavy Ball is used. That's because Heavy Ball didn't actually work at all on any Pokemon but Snorlax.
Well, you only had one heavy one, and it was Snorlax.
In Pokemon Crystal, a bug caused the capture formula for Heavy Ball to incorrectly retrieve the weight of Kadabra, Tauros, and Sunflora, so they all get the plus 40 modifier catch rate.
Oh, Gen 2. Held together with tapes and dreams.
Man, that Kadabra real thick back there for that Heavy Ball to work.
Thick Kadabra boy.
All right, what about next week?
All right. This Pokemon, which could only appear in your party after you had passed through Route 102 in the old days, has a split evolution, but in Pokemon Unite, can only evolve into one of the two options because Dawn Stones are not available in Pokemon Unite. Conceptually, one of the Pokemon it can evolve into can be either male or female, while the other can only be male. Both of its subsequent evolutions have their own megas. At this point, I feel that I have given you enough information, but I'll add one more thing to make it perfectly clear. The word used for its category is a synonym for the word used for its pre-evolutions category. That's it. That's all. More than enough information.
Perfect. All
Greg
right.
already knows the answer.
Hope you enjoyed your extra long show. Thank you for listening. As I do our outro, Greg is going to think of a secret word, but you can follow Greg on Twitter.
I mean, I
at
wanted it to be
Whitwing.
Ludicolo, but but you got that at the front.
Greg is at White Wing. Will is at Washing the Sink. I'm at Dragging a Lake. If you forgot the Patreon stuff, I'll bring it up again. Patreon.com/PKMNcast. If you want those helpful graphics that I've been making, they're on Twitter, PKMNcast, on Instagram, PKMNcast. So those are there. Also, there was a Vanillix event in Sword and Shield. I didn't forget. There's just nothing to talk about. But thank you guys for listening. Our secret word is
Shining Vanillux.
Shining Vanillux. There
Because
you
you had
go.
to listen to all this thing just for you to diss this great weekend. Was it really that if you found a 5-star Vanillux rate, it was always shiny?
Yeah.
Dang, I didn't find any. I mean, somebody else found one, so I got one. But I could not find a single
I
one
went through
in my game.
200 wishing pieces, and I couldn't
find one.
You need to get up on Snapchat because Snapchat's where the shinies.
See you guys next week. Thank you for listening. This has been another episode of the Pokemon Podcast, and we are
Super effective.
Super Ludicolo.